First time? Right. Okay. First time. Right. So if I speak in English, it's okay. Everybody understands? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So today we'll be looking at some insights from my stay in abroad. Actually, I'm still staying. I came here for vacation, like working remote. But what can we take? So everybody, what are they studying? Like bachelor's, masters, what courses are everybody doing or working? Anybody?
I'm working for past 5 years.
Amazing. Right. So anybody in bachelor's? Anybody in masters? Pursuing masters here? Okay, no. So I was also a bachelor student like you here in Mumbai, where I was practicing practicing devotional service here, and then I went to US for my masters to pursue. Then there were a lot of things that I gained, and there were a lot of things that were different from India. So in perspective of our devotional life, what can we really take? In what way can we perceive to really progress our life? So we'll be looking at that. And so this is just a small talk of my story. Okay. So this story began when 3 years back, when I went to a place called Michigan in US, and there I started. So there's often a say that the American dream, correct? So anybody knows what's an American dream? Anybody?
Earning in dollars.
Earning in dollars, perfect. Hari. Next, getting settled in America, better lifestyle. Yeah. And what else? There are so many things in the American dream. Yeah, for study. Yeah. And what happens once you study? You'll get something, right? Post visa, post word study work visa. Nice. Yeah. And you'll earn in dollars. One will get a big house once he starts earning a fat big check, lavish lifestyles, parties in the evenings, clubbing, and whatnot. Correct. Um, Big cars, cleanliness. Correct. So that's something the American dream. So I'd like you to see two videos where are you able to see the video? Okay. For the volume, Prabhu? I think that's all right. I think that should be okay. They're able to read it. So there are words that are coming, what he's saying. So I think it's a short clip.
From 1948 to 1973, for 25 years, the U.S. economy was so amazing that you could conceivably get a job, I mean a regular job. I don't mean an amazing job, just a job. And the pay would be so high, and the benefits so amazing that you could not only afford to buy a house, feed your family, you might be able to send your kids to school, and you might be able to retire really well. That was the only time, in fact, in human history where a person could work and make wealth. If you look at the middle class today in the United States, they don't make wealth. They barely get by. But for 25 years, people were prospering. If people aren't fretting about food, they're not worried about shelter, they're not in constant fear that the economic situation will collapse, they have mind space to start to ask bigger and better questions. What about civil liberties? What about civil rights? What about human rights? price. The next thing you know, by 1954, 6 years into this explosive economy, we're in the middle of a revolution. From 1948 to 1973, for 25 At a time, at the dawn of the industrial age, millions flooded our shores with a dream to enjoy political freedom and economic freedom, to live in a land with liberty and justice for all. And our government took action when Wall Street wiped out the dream. For the 30 years after the Second World War, our Uncle Sam made us a patriotic promise. If you worked hard, played by the rules, you can make a better life for your family. When workers united to win better wages and working conditions, the government told business not to interfere. When their sons returned home from war, the government gave these veterans a shot at a college degree, a good home, and their own business. All that, a good job, a good education, a nice home, plus the protection of Social Security and Medicare when they grew old. Citizen activists and active government made sure that as the country grew richer, everyone shared in our nation's prosperity. But the CEOs of big corporations and Wall Street speculators wanted more pie for themselves. Starting in the 1970s, they tied Uncle Sam's hands and rewrote all the rules. They de-taxed themselves by slashing income taxes, capital gains taxes, and the top marginal income tax rates. They demunionized their businesses by suppressing the labor movement. And they deregulated the environment and fancy financial transactions like those subprime mortgage derivatives that brought the world to the brink of economic collapse. The end result, CEOs of big corporations and Wall Street speculators kept more of the pie. The share of national income earned by the top 1% of Americans has increased from around 8% in 1974 to more than 18% in 2007. The top 0.01% of us, or 1 in 10,000 households, soared the annual income from $4 million in 1974 to $35 million on average in 2007. At the same time, workers have seen wages stagnate, and even fall. We've drawn from prosperity for all to the rich takes all. And why should all Americans care? The income gap between the nation's richest and poorest is the most powerful indicator of functioning in our society. As income disparity spikes, so too does rates of homicide, obesity, drug use, mental illness, and anxiety. This is the beginning or the end for the American dream.
And we play the
Actually, from here, it should be okay.
More pie for themselves. Starting in the 1970s, they tied Uncle Sam's hands and rewrote all the rules. They de-taxed themselves by slashing income taxes, capital gains taxes, and the top marginal income tax rates. They demunionized their businesses by suppressing the labor movement. And they deregulated the environment and fancy financial transactions like those subprime mortgage derivatives that brought the world to the brink of economic collapse. The end result, CEOs of big corporations and Wall Street speculators kept more of the pie. The share of national income earned by the top 1% of Americans has increased from around 8% in 1974 to more than 18% in 2007. The top 0.01% of us, or 1 in 10,000 households, soared annual income from $4 million in 1974 to $35 million on average in 2007. At the same time, workers have seen wages stagnate and even fall. We've gone from prosperity for all to the rich takes all. And why should all Americans care? The income gap between the nation's richest and poorest is the most powerful indicator of a functioning healthy society. As income disparity spikes, so too does rates of homicide, obesity, drug use, mental illness, anxiety, teenage pregnancies, high school dropouts.
You have to wonder, who will stand up to big corporate interests? Who has the power to mobilize millions? Is this the beginning or the end for the American dream? It doesn't have to be. It's time for us to unite and rebuild the American dream. All across the country, workers are demanding good jobs. Good jobs with decent wages are the backbone of our national greatness. The American dream can still be a reality, but they need you. Uncle Sam needs you.
So coming, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we saw two videos, right, that talk about American Dream. Probably not much related to us, but I just put up those videos so that everybody of us can understand how big the American Dream was few years back. Right? Now it is shown that the American Dream or the facilities or whatever the pay and all the luxury or whatever which are entitled is on a decline, correct? Right? I mean, everybody might know that. But this few years back, when going to masters to abroad was really a luxury and was really a prestige. Uh, this American dream was one of the prime needs, or we can say aspirations, of every Indian or every average, above average Indian who really wanted to do something with his career. So we can see that okay, the American dream is so great and so like okay, like a billboard statement sort of. Now this is what we perceive, right? So let us look at some insights and what actually we might get when one lands to United States or West or America to study. So if I'm asked, what are few things, few activities, or few points, or few factors that you would look? Let's say you go to one goes to US for studying. What are the factors that you would look? What basic necessities or needs are there? So I want everyone to just think.
Living expenses first of
Okay.
all, manage your living expenses. My also not allowed to work part time.
Okay.
Legally work part time.
Mm.
Having a good financial background, having a show where I'm like counseling, but only that you have to show quite hefty time balance, right? I don't have to like these thing for these education.
Assume you have all these. The financial obligations are met in India. You booked a ticket to US. You got the visa. You now landed in US, or you think that you started your study. What are the few like factors? Culture. Okay. What else? Culture is it on the priority list the moment you go to US? In fact, you'll be more looking for a job, getting settled. Okay. Okay, so would getting job be your initial priority when you go to the US immediately when you land? Okay, so what about the priorities you would just want to do look at on day one when you go to yeah. Okay. Okay, culture. Okay. Next. Okay. Uh, what else? Accommodation. Okay. One point. Next, what else? shelter, accommodation. Yeah. Next, food, 2 points. Next, accommodation, shelter. What else? So you'll feel hungry, so you need food, right? And you need a place to stay, right? So you'll be looking for an accommodation. Third thing, what else? Money, 3 points. So that's great. Yeah. Sorry? Didn't get you. Friends, perfect. So 4 on 4. That's great. Very well. So these are the 4 things that firstly anybody would look at as a priority list. So what are this? Food, money, accommodation, shelter. I mean accommodation, and fourth is friends. Because when we go to a new place, we look for some similarity, right? Some familiarity. So what type of friends we can see, or if we are going together with some friends, to US, we both are in the same university, got some same accommodation, then all of that. So because we try to see how much we can match with our nature and all of that, and how, because it's a new place, we don't know what it is, where what things are there. So and before going from US, we hear a lot of things, euphoria. Oh, this place is like this place is safe, this place is not safe, you should do this, you should not do that, you should not go alone here, this, that, and all. So okay, so these 4 things. So coming firstly, food. Now I'll try to describe my insights, right? The moment I went to US, there, firstly we have to cook on our own. So being a devotee, Hare Krishna devotee, I cannot eat outside, because so what do Hare Krishna devotees do? Eat self-made food and sattvic food. We offer it to Krishna and then we have it. We honor it. So there, everything is, so what is vegetarian in their perspective in US? Correct. Eggs, fish, chicken, right? So for them, non-vegetarian is only considered when you eat meat, or there are more animals that you can have, right? So that's out of question for us. So so this is something like, a new thing, or now it's also starting at our places. So it's very bizarre as to how different our culture, our roots, our uh, our understanding is there, onto what is over there, right? Let's say, what is one called, uh, one who eats eggs, what is one called? Anybody? Vegetarian or ovarian. What is one called who eats fish? Even I got to know yesterday. It's something called as pescatarian or something. Okay. Now, huh? Okay. Now, few days, few years down the line, I like somebody. Okay. One likes somebody, and then one says, "Oh, I think you will taste nice." Right? So let me cut your hands and legs and let me cook it nicely with all masalas and let me eat. Then what will one be called? Humanitarian. Correct? So that is the hypocrisy, right? That is the biggest hypocrisy, that there is no basic understanding of what the basic necessities are. So we are fortunate to actually have an understanding of what we have to do, what is sin, what is not sin, all of that. Offering sattvic food, actually not offering sattvic food and honoring it, is a sin. But then what to consider of non-vegetarian itself, right? So much gap. That's like, it's a big, we can't think of it, right? Next, now let's say friends or association. So over there, what I saw was, it is open with whom you want to live. Co-living was something very common, is very common. And no supervision, like nobody to guide you. So does one know what is correct, what is wrong, what is not? So it's very common to actually share a room with another opposite gender.
Not even good, but bad also.
You just shamed US more actually than me. So yeah, correct. Not just room, but maybe bed or whatever. Correct. So do we really have again, that is, something we don't have, right? Exams. There is no concept of exams. Firstly, there is something for bachelors, but there is no concept of exams for masters. So it's all hunky dory, and although there are assignments, projects, which are really hard, which will take some days to complete. That's okay, but you know, students from Indian background, they have another hack for that. So very smartly they do some things by which they can complete their like assignments, projects, and all. So it's like, okay, no accountability, complacency. So what do these students who go, they do? Like one of the Prabhus, he told, right? They just work part time. Their schedule is in a week, 7 days they'll work, 5 days they'll work, one day, like, and they'll come, they're tired, they can't cook, so they'll order. And what they'll order, even though we are vegetarians, we follow something, but there we don't have any other choice because we don't want to follow rules. We think that is our own right or something. Right? So the lifestyle becomes completely different. Now coming to money, many of the students, they don't come to US with some loans or something, as we discussed. They just come here from somebody, or we can do some part times. Here part times are not allowed. I mean, we don't do, our families don't allow, right? There it's like every, right from bachelor's, it's a thing that we have to do some part time. We have to have some job apart from our studies, because we want to have independence. We want to be free of everybody else and do things of our own whims. So money is one important thing. Once money comes in, you spend it left, right, and center. What else is there? Then comes things like putting in the money for enjoyment, for gambling, whatnot. So just for an American dream that we saw, which is really so important, correct? One is ready to compromise on the principles itself as directly as possible. And one is agitated if these principles are not met. There is some hiccups. Okay, let's try to uh, increase the boundary unto which we can break the rules. So discussing about this, so these are just few necessities. Probably going some other factors or something, this will be in the same line. Okay? So I'll give you for some examples actually. One of my roommate, so he was a Brahmin. You know what is Brahmin, right? What does a Brahmin eat? Sattvic food, right? Vegetarian food at least, right? So everything was going good until 2 months, okay? And then one day night, after 2 months of me coming to the US, and so before going, we had the accommodation in such a way that I tried, because I was following something. Okay, everybody is a vegetarian and there's no breaking of rules or those type of things, right? And suddenly 2 months later, one day night, I'm sleeping nicely, in my room. Suddenly, from another room, one guy comes, and so we have a separate bathroom, washroom. So this guy from the other room, he knocks the door of my washroom, bathroom, and then he calls my roommate. Okay, his name is XYZ, whatever. Okay, he's knocking for so much time. I was like, what is happening? Am I seeing a dream or what's happening? Why is my roommate coming in my dream? And then after some time, I woke up, and then he's banging the door, with the name, whatever. And then like I asked him what happened, and then so in US the washrooms are like doors. Below there is, here we don't have gaps. There is at least 1 inch gap. Okay, then we try to see from that bottom. Okay, what's happening? So my roommate, who happens to be a Brahmin, was sleeping on the floor, on the bathroom floor. Okay, and he's completely out of his mind. He's taking some other different name. You can now know what names he will be taking, right? Maybe of his friend, somebody XYZ. Uh, and we were calling his name, and something he was saying, right? And he's sleeping, right? He's not knowing we are calling. So then the other guy came, and he told that he went for a late night party. Okay, so we have I mean, the students have a whatever you call, the day your assignment gets complete, because there the assignments take long time, 4 to 5 days or 1 week we have to keep doing. So like we have now assignment, we do it here in some hours, but there no exams, so we have to do lengthy assignment. So that day is considered like a freedom day, independence day, so they will party like anything. Okay, one assignment done, so party number one. Okay, let's achieve that. Okay, so then, okay, party number one. Then he came and he assumed his bathroom as his bedroom, as his bed. Okay, and his pillow as the commode. Okay, and he was sleeping. Honestly, we were seeing from the bottom, and we were like, oh, "What's happening?" And that big ruler scale will be there, right? That big ruler scale. So we were trying to poke him. Udja, bhai, udja, udja. Right? So then next day morning at 9 a.m. he woke, and then he realized he slept in the bathroom. The rent would have been saved if he would have wanted to stay in the bathroom. We could have asked one more person to come and take the rent, right? A third person. Jokes apart, but that is the status, right? So another time we had a get together or the same kind of parties or something that goes on. There were two girls who came in for bachelors from after 12 passing out. They were again from some cultural background, and these guys, masters, they were trying to. So these guys, okay, they are drinking something. Okay, that's okay. Now these guys are trying to poke those girls. You also drink. You also drink. No, we don't want to. We our families don't allow this thing. No, you should explore. You come to US, the mecca of breaking rules. Correct? Here is where you have to explore and you have to break everything. Then only the success of your life starts. So this is how, young girls, probably they would have been 17 or 18, just crossed 12th. They don't know anything. They've come to US to study, start their bachelors, as naive as anything. Now somebody is trying to get them into something wrong. Slowly drugs, weed, and a lot of things. See what impact that will go to, for those small children, not for small girls. They don't have any understanding, what it is, what not. So this is the exploitative mentality that is going on. Yes, we think American dream is a big, luxurious, sophisticated thing, but the reality is something else. And as we discussed, food, right? Even bread has eggs. So there we don't have normal bread. Bread means it has to be mixed with eggs. Milk means it has to be adulterated. The cows are given injections to produce more milk, right, than the normal, like, whatever, capacity. So there is nothing which is not adulterated. Everything is very nice and like very nicely chemicalized or whatever. Even the vegetables, like, they're not natural. but one has to take those because one wants to fulfill the American dream, right? Yes or no? So this is the hypocrisy that is going on. These are just four of the priority factors I took based on my understand my experience. Right? There's a list of a lot of things that we can discuss. So if we see, so these directly relate to, you know, breaking some rules, regulations, and all of that. Right? If I talk about general lifestyle of US, right, that is quite amazing to hear. Honestly. So hate crimes are so popular over there. So one day night at 12 o'clock, 11:45, 12 o'clock. So that day we had an assignment day and I was coming home, we have a walk by. Suddenly 4 to 5 police vehicles came in, right, to near to my home. Is everybody comfortable? Hare Krishna? Jai. So 5 to 6 police vehicles, jeeps went in, and then I was like, at this time, what will happen? That was the first few months of my stay, maybe 4 to 5 months later. And suddenly, I was seeing as I was going past my house, my house was near my university. A girl with her hands like this, fully blood, right? The blood was pouring down, and then she was there, and the people, the police, the cops, they surrounded her. She had murdered her husband or her boyfriend or whatever, and it is just our house and the next house, and we used to hear some chit chat. I mean, something like some uh, fights and all, but we didn't think that this is so. And this is, we thought what happened was that girl was having a gun. So we took a photo, but I don't have that. I was searching for that photo, but I wanted to show you all of that. There was an ambulance. There was a big 4 to 6 vehicle. This is a common thing every day in US. To hide ourselves from the girl maybe pointing the gun towards our house. What we did was we completely shut down all the lights of our house and shut down all the shutters, because if we were just seeing through the small hole or something, that this thing. So that does not, suddenly she fires and then somebody of us, next day Hari bol. Right? That shouldn't be there. So we were so scared. So it was the first time. And generally, if something of that happens in India, right, what will happen? A big group will come, pura halla bol rahe, something, bahut news mein aa jayega. But there, our neighbor, even they did not come out. Later, we realized that is a common sight every now and then. A university 15 miles there, like roughly 17 kilometers from our university, a shooter came of this height, and surprisingly, in the university, most of the universities in US don't have security gates. It's open. You can just enter the university. Just enter. In the working hours, you just enter, no problem. You don't need a ID card or anything. That guy, it seems he was frustrated, he was having some issue, and then he came and then he killed 23 students in a matter of 3 hours. Just normally, out of nowhere. And then early in the morning for us, or I think the night, our university got a mail that you guys be careful, because maybe it might be a larger group of people who are there and who are open, with guns. And then I get calls from home, from here in India. Oh, this news has come, like, because a university in US, and that was a very reputed university. A shooter came and killed 25 students. They are just international students, just coming out of anywhere. They're just being shot like that, just because somebody's mood is not good. So we were careful, and then we got a notice that we should not go to the university. Maybe some the guy, I mean, whoever their group or something. And then after some hours, we had a thing that okay, everything is cleared. In our university, few weeks later, in one of the girls' washroom, one notice was written, bomb underneath, girls or guys, and immediately we got a notice again from the homeland, whatever. So there we have separate one department of security, right? So that is the status of social order in US, saying that nobody should go to that place, right? I'll just try to show you some pictures. Are you able to see this? So here, this is the police vehicle, and this is our house, like entrance or what we call the leasing office. One very nice day evening when we didn't have anything, we were just walking, and suddenly we saw a vehicle, like a car. We get it's recognized, it's a police car, and then these police suddenly came and then they gathered him. It seems he has a gun, and then he comes to our post office post box, okay, near the, and he there are five people, and then they try to snatch the post envelopes or whatever parcels they get, and if anybody comes. Maybe a better picture. Okay, so these are the police. It was snowing that day. So this is the state of United States of America, the place of dream. So this is what we can say is this is beyond anything that we can experience. Why is this happening? People there are frustrated. They are not wanting to follow the rules. They do not have faith in anything. That's why what happens is once this winter is done, on summer days, when once summer comes, winter days, the roads are wintry and it's very difficult to drive. On winter days, the youth, especially in the places where it snows, they drive at very high speed, 100, 120 miles per hour. It's very dangerous. Even though the road system in India is bad and in US it's better, still the accidents that happen in United States are more fatal and more in number than in India. Why? Because people, especially youth, want to exploit the resources, exploit themselves, exploit others, and exploit the whole society. Because one is not able to satisfy themselves, they want to hanker for more, more, more. What else can we try? Like all of you, one of the devotees in Michigan, actually now he's a devotee. His name is Timothy Shepard. Actually, he recently, some months back, he started coming and staying in the temple. One sudden day, he came to our temple president. One fine day, and he was wearing one pant, but he was having kantimala, a big kantimala, and he was having tattoo all through his body. I wish I could have showed you his picture. And he started weeping in front of the temple president. And then, like, I couldn't hear, but once after that, I had to take him to the to the prasadam hall, and then he started staying with us. Slowly, as I got to know him, I asked him, "What is, like, why were you weeping? Why are you? What's happening?" Again, one question. He's an American. He said his girlfriend cheated. Okay, I said, "Oh, your girlfriend cheated. Okay, that's common. Why? What happened?" You get one more. I mean, I'm just like, I'm serious. I'm serious. That's okay. But then what he said really struck me. He said, "I'm really tired." And he said that with the deepest of the sight. "I'm really frustrated. And that's why finally I just came. And I know that this is the only solution." 10 years back, he read one book by His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj and some Prabhupada books. Although he got connected, but in the between, I asked what happened. Then he said, "I had so many partners in my life with whom I had associated." Guess how many partners? Come on, Hari bol. Yes. Boli, boli.
23.
Huh?
23.
No hope. Go on. No hope. Go on. मर जाएंगे फिर. Something around 150. हाँ, 500. 5. That's उसी वो प्रभु के लिए नो होप, तो आपके लिए तो कुछ है ही नहीं. आपका तो आप तो आउट, गेम से आउट. Roughly around 150 to 200 partners, girls, he had associated in the past 10 to 12 years. And if you see his hand, right, he takes all kind of the most strongest and vicious injections or drugs, and he gets hyperactive. And very nicely, actually, if I could have showed his picture, when he stands, right, he never stands still. He will be moving like this. I mean, I can't, like he'll be like always, and his eyes won't be straight. And it is really so disturbing to see him. Good that nothing worse happened. Now he first, before coming to the temple, he went into a rehabilitation where there are 12 stages over some 4 to 5 years. Just imagine, you are just going for a rehab center, and that is just the starting phase, it seems, for such uh, advanced addicts. Then he remembered that, yeah, I used to once chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I had read some spiritual books, and he wanted to take some guidance. Then he came weeping. It seems he did not have any money. He just came weeping to the temple president, and he said, "I will do whatever you want, any service that you give. I'll follow as you say, but please take me into shelter. I don't want to be the old person I was." He takes some medicines. Okay, so he stays still, like with us in the ashram in one of the rooms. If he does not get the medicines on time, he starts breaking things. Literally, he'll start breaking. He'll just go hysterical. It's beyond control. At least 4 to 5 people are required to actually control him. That is the state of. This is just one person, who by Krishna's mercy, by Prabhupada's mercy, he came to Krishna consciousness, and he's on the path to recovery. But this is the case of many. His father, it seems, was also addict, and he had divorced. The same story, something like that, and that's why a disturbed family, led to this. Yes, bro.
You said his father was also addicted, right? And he was also obviously. Then why did Krishna, made up his mind to go to the ISKCON temple and ask the president to give him the shelter and make him a better person in life, but not his father? What is the reason behind that? Maybe everybody can become a bhakt of Krishna, but why not everybody? Why only the one who gets awakened all of a sudden?
It depends. Karma, like some good deeds you would have done and some sukriti that you would have got somewhere, something previous, which his father might not have. And Krishna's will. So we don't know. Krishna just decided that, okay, he will help this person. He cannot do the normal activities that every one of us can do. That's why now the services that are given to him are the lawn mowing, घास फूस जो होते हैं काटने का, वही कर रहा है वो प्रभु. So this is the state of like whatever. And there are multiple stories like this. Every this is about Americans. We in our Indian society, like where we used to stay, right? So this was before I joined the ashram in near the temple. Every day Friday night, जैसे मैंने बोले असाइनमेंट खत्म हुआ तो पार्टी, ठीक है? तो हॉल पे जो सारे बॉटल्स होते हैं दारू के, they used to हाँ वो क्या बोलते हैं एक शोकेस पीस जैसे शेल्फ. मैंने बोला 20 बॉटल रखे हुए, ये क्या है? ये हमारे यादों के लिए, ये हमने इतने असाइनमेंट क्लियर किए हर एक दिन, हर एक हफ्ते, हर एक असाइनमेंट. So that is something that is really alarming. So these 4 activities or factors directly lead to few rules or regulations. What are they? The 4 regulative principles, right? What are the 4 regulative principles? Anybody? First regulative principle. Yeah. No meat eating. Second. No intoxication. No gambling. So now based on whatever I have described, are all being violated in the US? Louder. Yes or no? And what happens when one breaks the regulative principles? What happens?
Face the consequences.
Sorry? Yes. Okay, suffering. What else? You have to face the consequences. Okay, next. What else? You're breaking even the one regulative principle. So what happens? Health. Karma. Raj. Impressions. Very heavy impressions. Correct? Another thing I forgot. How many of you know LGBT something XYZ ABC BCD? Yes. So the first few days in the university when I went from the back, I saw somebody with a large hair, पूरा इधर तक के पूरा. अरे एक माता जी होगी लड़की. हेलो मैम बोलूं या कुछ ऐसे. वो देखा तो फिर वो तो एक लड़का था. ही बोलूं शी बोलूं कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा. बॉय सर बोलूं मैम बोलूं समझ में नहीं आ रहा. And they get offended a lot. They take that very seriously. Very, very seriously. He बोलूं, she बोलूं, it बोलूं पता नहीं. Right? So that is the state of, again, the dream nation that we are all talking about. ऐसे जस्ट इमेजिन कितना डिफिकल्ट होगा, पीछे से कोई और, आगे से कोई और, क्या कुछ नहीं. We have to deal with them, correct? We have to be very careful and sensitive to them, to their needs. But is that shastrically genuine or bona fide? No. But we can't do it because we have an American dream, so we have to deal with whatever, associate with all of them. And also, the moment you go to America, places are very far away, very, very far. If you want to buy some groceries, there is only one store in the whole locality. Here you go to, यहाँ पे ठेले भाई के पास जाए तो मिल जाएगा, कुछ और बिस्किट चाहिए तो थोड़ा नीचे मिल जाएगा. When we first enter the university, we are actually told, सबके यूनिवर्सिटीज में क्या होता है, एक ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम होता है. हमारा यूएस में एक सेफ्टी ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम होता है. अपने आप को बचाए कैसे, पहले पढ़ाई बाद में करो, पहले अपने आप को बचाए कैसे. ठीक है, किसी ने गन दिखा दिया तो क्या करे, किसी ने चाकू दिखा दिया तो क्या करे, right? And personally it has happened with me and one of my friend also, कि night we were going, we didn't know, रात के 9:45 बजे हम जा रहे थे, 7:45 बजे, एंड पीछे से हमारे घर के सामने एक मॉल है. हम सोचे कि पहली बार आए हैं, चलो देखते हैं क्या होता है. एक यहाँ से वहाँ उस डिस्टेंस में एक ब्लैक हमारे पीछे चलना स्टार्ट किया, और फिर हम डर गए. हमने पहले सोचा अरे वो भी चल रहा है, पर फिर ऐसे हम चलते रहे, हम घूमते रहे आगे पीछे इधर, और फिर उसकी आवाज आई. क्या आई? डू यू हैव एनी मनी करके. हम तो 2 दिन पहले, हमारे क्या डॉलर वॉलर क्या रहेगा, रुपये चाहिए तो बोलो हम दे देंगे, उसका कुछ काम का नहीं है. फिर वी सेड नो सर, ऐसे बहुत पोलाइटली. डू यू हैव एनी फूड? नो सर. फिर हम जल्दी थोड़ा हम अलग रास्ते पे, रोड पे जहाँ पे गाड़ियाँ आ सकती है वहां पे हम जाने लगे. तो वो भी हमारे वो फुटपाथ पे आया, बट कुछ टाइम के बाद वो निकल गया. ऐसे काफी इंसिडेंट्स हुए. मैं एक बार ग्रोसरी स्टोर, जैसे हम यहाँ पे अभी हमारे पास डीमार्ट वॉलमार्ट सब आ गया ना, वैसे वहाँ पे एक रिलायंस मार्ट या जो भी हम बोलते हैं, वहाँ पे वॉलमार्ट करके आया. वो एक ही रहता है एक पूरे जगह के लिए. तो वहां से मैं मेरे कैब के लिए मैं चल के आ रहा था. मेरे जस्ट पीछे यहाँ से यहाँ तक मेरे पूरे 4-5 बैग थे, सब कुछ. उसके पास क्या था मुझे नहीं पता, बहुत डरा हुआ था मैं. कृष्णास मर्सी मैं निकल पाया, नहीं तो उस दिन कुछ खाने को नहीं होता, फिर से मुझे वापस जाना पड़ता शायद, या पता नहीं क्या होता, पता नहीं. तो वहां पे क्या है कि बोला जाता है कि अच्छा अगर ऐसा कोई कुछ करे, गन वन निकाल के जो भी पैसे वो सारे दे दो, एटलीस्ट तुम्हारी जान तो बच जाएगी. तो ये सब रूल्स हैं जो बोला जाता है. और ये सब ये लोग प्लान तो करते हैं कि अच्छा सेफ्टी ओरिएंटेशन ये वो, पर फिर गन कल्चर है क्यों यूएस में? मोबाइल है. तो गन कल्चर है क्यों? सेल्फ डिफेंस. ये उनके कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में एक लॉ है कि सेल्फ डिफेंस के लिए यू कैन कैरी गन. इज दैट शास्त्रिकली अगेन, या स्क्रिप्चर्स के थ्रू, या उनके जो फेथ या कल्चर या जो भी सोसाइटल नॉर्म्स के बेसिस पे इज दैट मेड? नो. Because there the politicians, people, they do not follow anything out of just their whims. अगर किसी ने बोल भी दिया कि नहीं इस गन कल्चर को रोकना है, पर दूसरा एक आ जाएगा नहीं. मेरे सामने अगर दूसरा एक आदमी आके गन दिखाए तो मैं क्या दिखाऊंगा, राइट? इसलिए चलो हरी बोल करते, दोनों गन करके. वहां पे बाय नेचर सब लोग अकेले रहते हैं, ना बगल वाले कौन है पता नहीं, कौन आगे कौन पीछे कोई पता नहीं, कुछ हो रहा है कुछ नहीं हो रहा नहीं. यहाँ पे तो शिफ्ट हो भी नहीं, सामान शिफ्ट हुआ भी नहीं, हम सारा चाय पानी सब कुछ हो जाता है यहाँ पे. रिश्ता बना लेते हैं, पर वहां पे है कि कुछ हुआ है नहीं पता, बिकॉज वहां पे they have starting से they have been bred that yeah we have to be alone, we have to be independent, we have to have freedom, these very materialistic concepts. So when you're alone, you have who with you? Your mind. So whatever your mind says, you'll do. And what if the mind is uncontrolled? Havoc. Anything you want to do, you can do. Anything. That is why this situation in the dream nation. And everybody, yeah.
Because it is hard to control your mind now. Because you should know the right knowledge how to control your mind.
Yes.
That they lack in the
Okay.
culture.
There is no like, when there is a faith, there is a trust in something. When there is a basis to your existence, then you can follow some rules, you can establish some rules. Churches are empty there, churches are vacant. In fact, कॉमेडी की बात है कि जो चर्चेस खाली हो रहे हैं वो हमारी इस्कॉन खरीद के मंदिर में बना रही है, राइट? अभी तक मैंने 3 टेम्पल देखे हैं जहां पे मैं गया हूँ, 3 स्टेट, सारे चर्चेस ही है, क्योंकि टेम्पल बनाना वहां पे बहुत कॉस्टली रहता है, राइट? और कोई फॉलो तो करता नहीं है, तो खाली रहते हैं, तो फिर अरे बोल वहां पे जो प्रीस्ट है या जो नन्स है, जो भी, they themselves do not follow rules, they do not have faith in anything, so then they cannot preach to the populace. There is no purity in them. Every time you want to exploit, you want to lord over things. This is the whole thing going on. And फिर concepts like depression, psychiatrist, बड़े बड़े नाम आ जाते हैं. I am seeing, तो वहां पे it's a common thing, ठीक है? अगर कोई छुट्टी ले रहा है, मतलब वहां पे कोई बोलेगा आई एम सीइंग माय साइकियाट्रिस्ट, मतलब हाँ कुछ यहाँ पे ढीला हो चुका है करके सोचना पड़ेगा, वही है सीधा, और कुछ नहीं, बस माइंड अनकंट्रोल्ड है, कुछ नहीं. Mind is controlled, everything is clear. There is purity in our thought, in our heart. We believe in God. We follow a supervision, a guidance में. Our life follows step by step. Everything is clear. What we are doing, why we are doing, when we have to stop, all of that. But here, this is what we just discussed, right? All of them are being violated. कोई पढ़ सकता है ये प्लीज? कोई भी, या इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशन भी if possible. जोर से, loudly, yes, please.
Without dharma, a human is equal to an animal. Dharmane hinaha pashubha samanati.
Samana. So, what is this in American life? What is happening? Correct? How many of you agree? What is the difference? What is the use if you're an animal in a sophisticated high-rise building at 44th floor, or you're an animal, on the ground floor? Only thing is, वहाँ का जंगल खाली है, यहाँ का जंगल थोड़ा cluttered है, और कुछ नहीं. यहाँ पे लोग मिल जाते हैं, but right? It's an animal culture. Yes or no? हम यहाँ पे इंडिया में, even if we are not following the supreme personality of Godhead, we have faith in something, right? हम गाड़ियों में हम भगवान का फोटो रखते हैं, right? परीक्षा से पहले हम बोलते हैं कि भगवान थोड़े मार्क्स ज्यादा बढ़ा दो. भगवान बोलते तो है, हम देवी देवता को मानते हैं अगर, तो उनकी पूजा करते हैं, फेस्टिवल करते हैं, साथ में आके कीर्तन करते हैं, भजन करते हैं, right? तो कुछ ना कुछ faith और some principles are there. That's why in India, as soon as that's why, and this is the place where the Supreme Personality of Godhead did pastimes and all his associates. So you can see one spiritual energy in India's land. The moment you enter a Western country, because the whole environment is filled with lust, with greed, with envy, so much that slowly it will turn you into this demon. You will be a part of this demonic society, honestly. Yes or no? हमारे ट्रम्प बाबा ने क्या बोला, मेक अमेरिका ग्रेट अगेन. So what is the response? Make America spiritual first, then only anything can be great. So this Prabhupada actually did it. In 1970s, he actually changed the hippies to happies just by chanting, dancing. And Americans spent billions of dollars in 1970s to actually to
Promote the spiritual.
yes, and get these people out of addiction and all of that. But now there is this Western influence coming in India as well, right? So we need to what we need to do. So some takeaways. If you are here in India, or you're going, or your friends are there, spiritual training is a must. Yes or no? Only if somebody is planning to go wherever, even to a new place, one must be very well fixed in spiritual practices, habits, and understand what is correct, what is wrong, whom to associate with, whom not to. When provocative situations are there, how do we deal with? So, like we are having this temple, we are having these programs, some discussion. Your friends who are not here and who are, might be you come to know that they're going abroad or for whatever reasons, you can caution them and say, yeah, first thing, look for temples there. So finally, for 1 year I was staying near the university, then I moved to an ashram near the temple. Then everything, we have morning program and all the service, so everything became set. So there are nice facilities by Prabhupada's mercy everywhere. So we must look at that. Live in or near temples, associate with saintly people. That is really important. Then only we can say that yes, our lives can be perfect. Otherwise, there is no use. What is the real purpose? Actually, just to, like we saw that big American dream that we want to pursue, but converting humans or transforming humans to animals. And in some states of our India, it's surprising. There's a very not culture, it's become every home one child must go to abroad to study something, to become what, to just exploit, be cheated, and cheat others. That's it. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes, I think we can take questions later. Now I think we have some other program. Is it okay? Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So let's thank Kiran Davuluri for so much wonderful this realization experience. Okay, so that we can get to know